Hey all, it's Aaron here from Stratos AI. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Microsoft Copilot is really warming up in 2025 and over 2026. There are so many different use cases for Microsoft Copilot, and the huge advantage is it's baked into a lot of the tools that we use day to day, whether you're at work or in your business. It's already baked into the tools, so there's no need to go to third-party tools, for example, Google Gemini or ChatGPT. We can get a lot achieved within Copilot itself. So I've got a few articles here which I wanted to share with you guys. So first, coming up, NHS AI trial saves 400,000 hours a month with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I found this super duper interesting because at a time of austerity and things are really hard, and especially our public services, any technology that can be bought in that can really help streamline the operations of that public service is essential, really. So we can see here that it saved staff 43 minutes per day, equating to 400,000 hours monthly. It involved more than 30,000 NHS workers, and these were the results. And it's the largest artificial intelligence trial of its kind globally in healthcare. 90 NHS organizations had actually signed up for this, and an average of nearly an hour was saved per employee every single day. Imagine the employees not being as stressed and getting that hour back because Copilot AI has done some of the heavy lifting for us. It's streamlined our decisions, it's made our task much easier. That is the beauty of AI, specifically Microsoft Copilot. Some of the estimates here, they're thinking that it could save millions of pounds monthly based on 100,000 users, which can be directly spent on improving patient care and frontline services. So this was done on a group of 30,000 people. If they then roll that out to 100,000, 200,000 people, just think of the streamline and efficiency that the NHS will be experiencing, and that money and time could be allocated elsewhere where there's urgent work and attention needed. I think it's a great use of AI, especially because, like I said, it's already Microsoft Copilot is baked into a lot of the tools that we're using, but it's just that people don't know how to use them. They know the surface level things, summarize this, draft this, but they don't know the more complex stuff. So, alongside rolling out Copilot in the NHS, they're obviously providing training as well. So, it is a official partnership with Microsoft. So Microsoft is obviously benefiting in some ways, in some shape or way. So within the NHS, over 1 million meetings occur on Teams, and with the Microsoft 365 Copilot tool, 83,333 hours of note-taking time could be saved every month. Another 13,200 hours per month could be saved. So it's final. The UK government has actually woken up now and realized, there's something going on in AI. We need to catch up because we were so far behind the other leading nations of the world. The fact that we are making positive steps towards now truly AI driven public sector companies, it's amazing. It should be an inspiration to, one, if you're in a career, and two, if you actually own an organization or the head of an organization. These statistics here, articles like these, are proof. The proof is in the pudding that this stuff works. You just need to know how to deploy it in the organization itself. Speaking of public sector as well, there's something a lot of people don't like. HMRC rolls out Microsoft Copilot. So they've just purchased 32,000 licenses with plans to scale to 50,000 in 2026, and they have rolled out Microsoft 365 Copilot to all of its staff, aiming to make productivity savings. Just like we saw with the NHS saving 400,000 hours a month, they are looking to do the same. And it's very interesting because when it comes to like HMRC or any kind of financial orientated companies, data protection, security, and regulation is a massive thing. But with Microsoft Copilot already being baked into the tools, I guess that barrier to entry is much lower, whereas the question marks around OpenAI still remain. So it's very interesting because the HMRC rollout comes after the government ran a trial of using AI with 20,000 civil servants, with results demonstrating they could save nearly 2 weeks each annually by using the technology. Everyday tasks, drafting documents, summarizing lengthy emails, updating records, preparing reports, just the basic stuff. And this is the point. Sometimes Organizations, companies, and individuals try to get too fancy and complicated with AI. For it to do the basics for you, which is everything I mentioned, that's a win in and of itself. If it can save you 30, 40, 50 minutes a day, that's an advantage. That's a win. You don't have to allocate your brain power to that task anymore, to leave it to AI. And of course, once you get more comfortable, you can move on to more complex things. So, for example, HMRC, I already know that they use AI to scan people's social medias. That's a fact. They also use AI to spot anything that's irregular and is kind of out the norm. So it's a step in the right direction for sure. What I'm wary of with HMRC, because a lot of things that I'm reading is they're just tracking the average person. Whereas I would love to see something coming for the big companies, because there was a report that came out just 2 months ago where an independent body essentially reviewed the HMRC and done all the interviews and conducted research, and they basically concluded that HMRC doesn't know how to tax ultimately rich people like billionaires. They don't know how to tax these companies because their tax structures are so complex. But surely we can have AI do something and claw some money back instead of just focusing on the average common man all the time. But yeah, HMRC has got Microsoft Copilot coming to it very soon. This article I found super duper interesting, being a ex gamer. I mean, in my from when I was probably 13 to about 21, I gamed hard with my friends. So here, Microsoft's gaming Copilot AI, is it a real step forward? So if you're somebody that uses an Xbox or games, AI can now analyze your behavior in real time. It can provide personalized suggestions like a personal coach. This is very interesting because it will recognize your scenes in the background, it will recognize your gameplay style and offer customized advice. So imagine you're playing, I don't know, let's say Call of Duty or Forza. It'll recognize how you're playing and why you are probably losing so much, and it can give you personalized advice. Why not try switching this out for that? Why not change your strategy? To people that aren't gamers, but to gamers, it's like having a personal coach right next to you, right? Telling you how to win games. There's nothing like the dopamine rush of winning a game online, regardless of what game it is. You just feel like you've defeated somebody. But that is actually coming to Microsoft. So I wonder how it's going to be baked into their actual software, their interface. I wonder if it will sit on top of the gameplay screen. Will it be a separate software altogether within Xbox? Here we can see this feature is currently being rolled out. Gaming Copilot AI is connected to your Xbox account and can consult your history. It fully integrates with Xbox Game Bar on PC, Xbox mobile apps on Android and iOS. It's very interesting because just think about how big the esports industry is. This helps more and more people get into that industry. For most people, they'll probably just sit at home taking advice. But I think this will help that esports industry really grow. And I think this is insanely valuable for a specific type of person, which is a gamer. An article here. So I don't know if you guys remember when we were using Microsoft tools in the late 90s, early 2000s. You used to have the little paperclip tool that would just appear and do like a magic dance, and no one really knew what it was for, but it was there. Well, Microsoft hopes that Miko succeeds where Clippy failed, as tech companies rarely add personality to AI. So Clippy, the animated paperclip that annoyed Microsoft Office users nearly 3 decades ago, might have been ahead of its time. So they're actually rolling out this new AI character called Miko, a floating cartoon face shaped like a blob or flame that will embody the software giant's Copilot virtual assistants. So this little blob here is now the new Clippy, which is very interesting. It's only in the US, but of course it'll roll out to the rest of the world very shortly. It was actually 1997 when it first appeared. I remember I used to watch that little paperclip, but I had no idea what it did. I clicked it a few times. I remember some boxes coming up. I think I was just too young to really understand what was going on. But it's making a comeback, and all these little steps. I mean, look, you ring your bank, it's AI. You log on to your Microsoft tools, it's all AI. You jump onto your content creation softwares, it's all AI. Go onto YouTube, go onto Meta, AI, AI, AI. AI is just absolutely surrounding us, and it will take a few years, well, more than a few years, for everybody to get their firm footing Still feels like an alien technology, still feels foreign, but give it 4 or 5 years, it won't. It'll be very much like second nature for sure. Clippy's making a comeback. This article here, which I found super intriguing actually, was because whenever we're using AI as a company anyway, everyone seems to have their own models of AI. So somebody might be using Google Gemini, somebody might be using Claude. I use ChatGPT quite a bit. And I never really feel like we are working from the same project. I don't feel like we're singing from the same hymn sheet. Microsoft Copilot now, they are rolling out group chats, so we can all collaborate in one group chat and leverage AI at the same time. So it's collaborative working with AI. As much as a small feature this may be, I think it's actually really huge. I'll give you an example. ChatGPT is probably the most used AI tool out there. Imagine when you're prompting it and you're sharing ideas physically with somebody, you're verbally talking to them. Imagine having them in the chat and everybody's going back and forth and we're all generating ideas. We're giving feedback on the ideas and so on and so forth. How much more easier would that be? That is much more efficient for the average person to have people in that chat. And it won't be long until ChatGPT rolls this out as well. Copilot Groups is designed for a group of friends, classmates, or even teammates to use Copilot in a single session. Microsoft is targeting this at people who need to make a plan or solve problems together. And the company is supporting up to 32 people in Copilot groups in an effort to make AI more social. AI and social, I'm not sure a lot of people agree, but it's definitely the future. People are just going to warm up to it. They'll realize AI does have its own unique personality. AI is their best friend, and this is, this will be the pattern for sure in the future. My guess is you're going to see groups of 2 or 3 dominate this. I think it's actually going to be a lot of small groups. It's not going to be like your long running group chat suddenly has AI chat in it. So there's big plans. Microsoft have got massive plans, and it's time that they really start to put their foot on the accelerator to start to make waves in AI. I think Microsoft Copilot was a very smart move. Instead of developing like a standalone app, which they do have, they've just baked it into their tools. Everybody uses Microsoft tools, so very smart. It was low hanging fruit for them, and they were clearly having a lot of success. So if you are in a career, I want you to just start leveraging Copilot, not for basic things, for more complex things. Okay, start to cut down your hours invested every single day. Okay, so if you're 8 hours at work, see how you can shave off 1-2 hours, right? There are ways, you just have to get creative. Okay, and nobody has to know. Yes, they can know the basics of what we do and we're saving a bit of time, but if you can save even more time, your day will just be much more better, right? Instead of just working and grafting hard for 8 hours straight, you can just do that for 6 hours, and then those other 2 hours you can take 5-10 minutes here, have a bit of an easier day. Better for your mental health, better productivity, and you actually have time to think about the big decisions that move the company or your department or your role forward. So yeah, it's just a few updates there from Microsoft. Huge things coming. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on Microsoft just to keep my kind of ear to the ground to what they're doing. So yeah, I hope you took some value for this. Go check out my other videos if you haven't already, and I shall see you in the next one.